Hey guys, what's going on? F1 here, and welcome to Across the Obelisk. Now, I should probably say this first and foremost. This is probably going to be an offhanded series that I have in mind, but... well, I'll think about it. I felt like doing something different today, basically. So, this is by no means is probably not going to replace our Elden Ring series, but for today I just wanted to do something different. And I figured, why not try this? Why not give it a go and see how it goes? I've played it a little bit in my own off time, so there has been some progress made, so you don't have to worry about that. But honestly, I don't know. I just wanted to try something new, and if you guys like it, well, there you go. But, honestly, I should probably explain a few things. First and foremost, this is probably not going to replace the Elden Ring series. If anything, I'm just going to play this offhandedly on Mondays more than anything. So, it's probably going to take the Monday slot while Elden Ring takes, I believe, Thursday. But this is otherwise just going to be its own series. It's just going to be for fun. No particular reason otherwise than just, well, it's there. Why not give it a go? But I digress. Honestly, let's just get into it, and I'll just show you what it's all about, because it's quite a fun game, all things considering. So, we have three options. We have Adventure Mode, Obelisk Challenge, and Weekly Challenge. We're just going to go into Adventure Mode and just go from there. Now, as you can see, I already got a save set up, but we're going to go on a new save. Now, as you can tell, 4 of the individuals are already out and about, so I won't be able to use those. But I do have the option of the main characters, which is Magnus, Andrin, Evelyn, and Reginald. They have already been... I've already been through the game once, I will say that much. But I haven't leveled them up fully, so I'm just going to take it through the road and just go from there. Oh, and I guess they're also set up here, so that is also an option. But I digress. So, what is this game about? Well, it is a card game, if I'm not mistaken, where you play cards much like you would Hearthstone, but you just go on your own very adventure and just do what you want. In my case, I'm just going to be playing and seeing how things go because, well, I've just been enjoying it just naturally. And I'll explain things along the way because, well, it may seem complex, but, you know, it's pretty simple once you get used to it. But without further ado, let's just get into it.
It all started on the princess's 16th birthday, when suddenly, a burst of energy erupted from the princess's chamber and swept through the kingdom of Sinenthia. The royal guards explored every corner of the castle, but found no sign of her, or Lord Hanshek, the court magician. The king sent soldiers all over the kingdom, but none of them returned. The trail of the princess was lost, deep in the old forest, near the ancient obelisk that had been dormant for centuries. Desperate, the king proclaimed a royal decree, announcing a reward for whoever brought the princess home safely. The news spread quickly throughout the kingdom. Many groups of adventurers prepared to investigate the obelisk. This is the story of one of those groups.
Alright. And with that, we are brought to the world map. As you can see, there is a plethora of routes that we can take. And because of what we've done, we've managed to get the first 4 important individuals here. So we don't have to worry about their whole shtick. But I digress. Let me go into town and let me explain a little bit of what's going on. So, First you have the Church. The Church allows you to remove cards from your deck at a cost. The Magic Forge allows you to craft cards. The Altar upgrades those cards into 2 variants. The Zingarian Cart allows you to pay gold to get a divination round, which is basically you get to choose one of 3 cards, basically put. Then you got the Armory, which allows you to buy gear. What that means is, first and foremost, the Armory allows you to buy gear from these 5 slots. For your hero deck, as you can see, each have a varying cost. From what I've seen, it's only gotten up to 0 to 10 cost cards, I believe. But I haven't seen anything that's higher than 8, so that is a thing we have to keep in mind. But I digress. Now we've got town upgrades if we want, but we don't need to worry about those. Rather, we should worry about our characters currently. So, without further ado, let's just get into things and I'll show you each what we need to do. First and foremost, let's see. We're probably going to want to remove some steel skins, I'm betting, from Heiner. Because while he is good at block, I don't want him to have a big, beefy deck. At the very minimum, I want him to use low-cost cards to, you know, skirt his way along. The less he's using, the better, basically put. So, for example, if he were to use Steel Skin, I want him to use 1, and anything else should be burn, for example. So, there is varying costs, but usually 4+ and lower are the usual setups that you got to work with. What is usually best? Personally, I believe that Entrench is a perfectly useful card, considering it covers all heroes. It's a good setup card. It'll give you defense for all your minions or your companions. And yeah. From there is the Coat of Arms, which is a good one, which allows you to get 2 fortification, technically 3, because we have upgrades. And yeah, we cannot reduce our cards down to below 15. So the best way to alleviate those issues is to get burn cards like Vanish. These usually take up slots that you normally wouldn't want to keep. So what I normally do is I take Intimidate for my tank, if only to put in a position where I don't have to fill up the deck as big. It appears there's also cards like Bluff, which can draw. But having it burn is also a good idea. Let's see. Bluff is actually quite an expensive card, though, it seems. So the energy cost to get that to burn is going to be annoying, more than anything. So that's the trade-off. In one way, you can get rid of cards, although, now that I think about it. Yeah, no, removing cards for me right now is free, but it's a question of what I replace with it, right? For now, the Bluff cards are actually pretty good, because they are draw 1, deal 4, so you can just simply assume them as additional cards, which is basically what Thullus has, I think? No, not Thullus. Never mind. I thought he had some cards, but it doesn't matter. The point is that we have to select a few cards to go in, and really it just comes down to what you prefer. For this circumstance, I'm going to be relying on Poison this time around with Thullus, so Blood Feeding is not the best choice for Heiner. Rather, I should focus on things that are going to help him with Poison, whether that be healing or something else. As for what that is, I guess we'll see. Zero cost cards. I guess there is Barbed Wire. That's a good supplement card. But I'm going to go with 2 Intimidates. Namely because they are cheap to get and not hard to acquire. Or they're just namely cheap to get, which is good. Alright, that should probably cover the 2 Steel Skins. Or get rid of the Sunders, I should say. Alright, Barbed Wire. I'm going to avoid those because they're a bit too costly right now. Alright, I can turn Blood into Fire, which I'm not going to do. Let's see. We can draw 2, gain 1. Okay. What else can I do? Let's see. Alright, there's repetition training. No. Blood feeding would be nice, but no. I'm not going to do that. I should probably get a Piercing Howl. Strictly for it getting... Yeah, I can turn it into a 0 cost card. For 1, and I can have it apply slow. So it's no different than having Intimidate. And that would act as like 2 footers as well. Although the cost is annoying. Now I could do that, or I could go to Second Energy to see what there is. What I think I should get is definitely a Barricade. And I should try and find something that will give Fortify to everybody, if I can. Because having Fortify for everyone is going to be vital for the build that I have in mind. And having it apply constantly is going to be better than anything. I think what I need most is the Entrench, so I'll be grabbing that. So that will be one of my main cards. As for blocks, I'm going to want 2 Barricades, because Barricade grants Fortification and Armor if you give it the proper upgrade. As for Otis, well, first I'm going to need to buy these cards, so I should be able to buy 2 of these and we should be good. That should be Heiner set up. At least for the preliminary stage. Alright, we're going to want to remove an Intercept. We'll remove 2 Steel Skins. And do we need Sunder? Not really, considering we have Shield Charge. Shield Charge would do better than the Sunders, at the very least. Although it does apply 3 vulnerable, though. You know what? Get rid of the Sunders. I'd rather have a cheap deck, to be honest. Alright, that should be Heiner set up now. Now for Otis, I'm actually going to change his perks. So these are the perks. Perks essentially give you an edge in battle, and depending on what you go with, they give boons and banes. In my case, I'm just going to change speed, and I'm going to give an additional buffer instead, because that is actually something that I'm going to be relying on, among other things. So, as you can see, I've specialized in shield with Otis. Now, there are other builds people can utilize, but I find that Otis is best used this way, because he is a very shield-oriented character. He doesn't heal as much. So, for Otis himself, for prep cards, I'm going to want not pain suppression. I want something that's going to affect the entire group. Because you have to keep in mind that if your main character doesn't get healed, then nobody does. Well, no, I explained that poorly. The point is that if you don't heal everybody, then you're not healing. Then you're just suffering. Put simply. All right. So, for a powerful ability, I could go with Protect Evil. However, there is a better, more useful spell in this case. There is 2 spells I want to get. I want to get Prayer of Healing, and I want to get Prayer of Protection. These 2 prep spells are going to be vital in our advancement. As for everything else, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to remove... Yeah, we're going to want to remove Sacred Bolts. We're going to want to remove our Sunbeams, so we'll need 2 spells for that. But we're going to be heavily relying on Prayer of Protection for most of our most of our protection. This is namely to make sure the allies of our companions do not suffer as much. And yeah, we should be able to live through things now. Now we need to get something with the buffer spell that I had selected before. So things like the Panacea are a good choice if you want to heal, dispel, and grant. Preferably, I think the better choice is to go for Protect from Evil. So I will be grabbing Protect from Evil. Now, I'm not sure what I'm going to upgrade Protect from Evil to. I could go with all heroes, or I could go with one hero in particular, giving it buffer. But I think all heroes would be the easier choice. But that's my opinion. At the very least, it will prevent 4 curses, at the very least, or 3 curses for all heroes. But that's besides the point. We're going to remove the Sacred Bolts. And let us remove a... I think what we want to do is we want to remove a Sunbeam. Yeah, we don't need too many of those. And now we can do some upgrades to minimize how many cards we have in here. So we're just going to make all these heals burns, I believe. We'll keep 1 heal, I suppose. No. Well, we'll make all of them burn. Because we do have Prayer of Healing, which will be used to heal us significantly. Mind you, we're going to be relying on regeneration for the most part, so we're probably going to have to get some regeneration cards. As for these barriers, we will have to address them at a later date, I think. Well, I mean, I can still upgrade them, but let's see. We're probably going to want Anthem of Hope, as that is a solid card to have, because it helps protect against Holy Shadow and Mind. But I'm not going to grab that just yet. I'd actually like to grab something else, preferably. Okay, let's see. I'm looking for regenerate spells. There is Innervate, but that is not going to work. Instead, we are going to want Healing Rain, I think? Yes, we're going to go with Healing Rain. And I think we're going to use that specifically to... We're just going to upgrade that so it only applies to removing burn from our side, more than anything. We'll grab a Detoxify just in case. And the Healing Rain we will have to worry about later. But what we can do is we can upgrade Detoxify. And we'll upgrade the Barrier to burn. And we'll remove whatever else we don't need. Alright. This is a burn. We'll keep the Prayer of Protection here. I guess we'll remove an... We'll remove an infused courage. We'll move 2 barriers. Yes, I know it's an odd choice, but I want to minimize the cards I have in my deck, not increase them. But without further ado, I think that's as much as we can do prep-wise. Of course, I could have used like a proper save where I had 3 sets of inventory, but I think to give you a rough idea of how things go, it's better if I do it this way. Alright. Let's see, what we got. Okay, we've got some resistances, we got some stuff. I think the best course of action is to give ourselves some resistance overall, I think. So, yeah, let's go with the 4 resistance and max HP plus 5 for our tank. And I should have bought the bunny, but that's fine. No matter. What we're probably going to do is we're going to aim for the hatch here, if we can. We'll deal with the honest work quest, I think, and go from there. Alright, now as you can see, just from top down, you see that everybody has their own initiative. Given Tholos, Heiner, and Cornelius have their set initiatives, and Otis is at the end, you can tell who's going first and whatnot. Now, there's a few things you should learn about this combat. First and foremost, if you finish a combat much faster, you get more rewards based on the quality of your combat. In this case, because of our initiative, we are actually going a little faster than these cornies, as they're called. So from here, what we also got to keep in mind is if we can beat them in 1 round, we are going to basically get a 50 bonus reward, experience, and 2 card tier bonus. This will matter at the end of combat, and I will explain it accordingly once it comes relevant. But I digress. Let us start with the corny at front. And from here, we go with a vicious strike, and now it's poisoned. Now we could just kill it, but we are going to ignore it for now, and focus on the back one here, before we go into a blur. There we go. From here, we activate Guard, and that will give us 2 fortification, or 3 in Heiner's case, and that will maintain his block. He will then use a barricade to give everybody more AC, and he will abstain from using bluff for now. Now, Cornelius, I haven't explained yet, is going to be our fire mage. He is going to be using fire, fire, and more fire to get the best results. Now, of course, there are a few ways you can go about this, but the easiest way is flare and fireball. Fireball does that. Flare, well, cooks them even more, like so. And from here, we just let the poison do most of the work, and there we go. Now we have Cornelius. All we gotta do is just sunbeam one of them. Unfortunately, we don't have enough damage to deal with the rest. So all we do is get a prayer protection up. We'll get some inspire courage. And because nobody is damaged, we don't need to heal. And thus leaves dual strike, and now victory is ours. Simple enough. Yeah, it's pretty simple once you get the hang of it. Now, you are given 3 selecting cards that you can choose from. Now, normally it's best done that you focus on things that burn or things that you know you're going to use. So things like war paint, that have a draw 1, gain 3, but they burn, that is a fantastic card to have. Normally, I wouldn't consider this, but because it is a corrupted version of Warpaint, it's actually a really good card that I would actually prefer to use if I could help. Mind you, it only increases damage and healing done with a draw, so I have to keep that in mind. But that is basically 15% extra damage, if I ever use it. In this case, though, I'm not going to use it because our tank does not need damage. He is not going to be doing damage, he's going to make the enemy take damage from him. But I digress. Now, because of our assassin here, buddy, Tholis, as he's called, he specializes in poison, as you can obviously tell. Now, with it, he has cheap costing cards that deal poison, so we have to keep that in mind. But at the same time, we'd prefer if we could burn the cards more than anything. Keep it cheap, basically, is the gimmick of the game. If we can keep it cheap, it's going to be good. Now, we do have the option of Viper Strike getting better, supposedly, if we focus on upgrading it to melee. Or at least if we can focus on getting it to monster. But besides that, we've really only got a few choices left for us for stealth. From the looks of it, we only get... Our dual strikes are going to be nice because they deal a lot of damage, but at the same time, I don't know. It's a lot of things to consider, but the point is that I don't think any of these are worth taking, is what I'm trying to say. So we're going to take shards instead. Alright. Obviously, for Tholis, he is a fire-based deck, so I should ignore anything that isn't fire-based. Preferably, I'd like to burn, so that way he can use more cards. So things that are expendable like Fireball 3 with a burn here is going to be better versus anything else that I get. I guess there is Fiery Shield and there is Inner Combustion as options if we wish to use them. I'm probably not going to, though. Searing Touch is basically the same thing. I'm probably going to want to minimize most of these cards. As for our little piggy boy, anything goes with him, but preferably Buffer is going to be the most important. But preferably I'd like to have it available for everybody, not just him. But that's besides the point. Let's offer our help, get some extra experience, and we're going to go down to the Suspicious Hatch. Now, here is an interesting thing. Obelisk Corruption. Now, normally I would grab this, but Chant of Accuracy is not that... Well, it's good, but for a chant that only grants 5 sharp, it's not that good. And it only removes 1 charge at the end of the turn, so... Honestly, I'm not going to accept the challenge because it seems a bit too rough at us for the moment. So I'm going to ignore it. Now you have the choice to accept or refuse these additional situations. It really depends on the person who's playing, though, on whether you want to grab it or not. But usually it really depends on the person. On one hand, you can accept it, and it will be a benefit to you. On the other, you can just refuse, and nothing bad will happen. Okay, we want to do that, and go invisible. We'll let the burn deal with him. Assuming that actually does so. I don't know. Well, the point is, barricade, we intimidate. I do believe these guys actually start healing, which is not a good sign. So we're probably going to want Cornelius to start blasting, I guess. So we'll get a fireball here. And we'll do a flare here. There we go. They're going to try and take some damage out of us. Alright, it seems they've cleansed the fire. That's fine. It appears we've got atonement. So we can use that if we so desire. Detoxify isn't going to help us here. Technically we could use Detoxify on these guys, but we don't need to. Instead, we're probably going to want Shield of Warding on our tank. We're going to go Atonement on the farmer here. And because nobody's taking actual damage, we should be fine. Okay, otherwise, we use Viper Strike, Poison Dart, and just deal as much poison damage as we can. Now we can use Shield Charge, Simple Attack, very useful. We'll use Bluff twice. Then we will buff up our compatriots here with some AC, and then we're good. AC I'm just going to refer to as block. That's just how I'm used to saying it. So, yeah, I've got my own terms. Everybody has their own. I just call it differently sometimes. It happens. Alright, Scroll of Intellect. It gives us 1 additional card draw and 1 additional mana. We're going to give this to Otis in particular. From here, we're going to want Inner Combustion. I do believe on somebody. I think it might be better... Yeah, no, if we use Inner Combustion, then we use Searing Touch, we can follow up with a Fiery Shield that will hit him. And that should have cleansed our burn, which it didn't. It technically did. Okay. Alright, for us, that leaves us with Healing Rain. Alright, we got Protection from Evil if we wish to use it. But a Sunbeam should help. So Protection from Evil. I guess I can give that to Heiner. It's extra AC after all. We'll do Infused Courage, Prayer of Protection, and there we go. That is 147 AC already, which is impressive. But I digress. Let's finish this fight. And there we go. That's another fight done. Alright. It looks like everything is pretty mediocre as well here. We're going to get a cell from there. We're going to get shards from there. Now, Plague Shot. That is an interesting one. It applies Poison, Dark, and Decay. Dark, basically, if you get 25 stacks of it, deals an additional 2 shadow damage per charge. That's assuming you wish to go shadow damage, mind you. There is the Decay modifier, which reduces healing by 50%. And Poison is obviously Poison. Honestly, as much as I like the shot, I'm going to abstain from it. I'd like to clear up my deck first before I do anything here with this dude. Alright, Scroll of Speed. That is an interesting one. I'm going to say no to the Scroll of Speed. Well, actually... Do I? I know the Scroll of Speed actually really helps in certain circumstances, but it's a question of whether I do it or not. Because there are certain instances where you do need the Scroll of Speed, but at the same time, it's only like a minor thing. I'm going to say no for now. And for our piggy boy, no. No, we don't need anything. Alright, it is time for the suspicious hatch. From here, we have 4 options. We could either force it open, we can try it open, or we could have Cornelius answer. And to describe, you come across a house in ruins, and inside you see a large hatch. You try to open the hatch, but it is properly closed. A few seconds later, a voice speaks to you through the hatch. Only those touched by flames. Then the voice remains silent, as if waiting for a passphrase. Cornelius thinks for a while and says, only those touched by the flames can see beyond the burning hands. Then he mutters under his breath to you that he thinks he remembers that he was one who vented this nonsense. The hatch opens, and as a result, we go into a secret room. From here, we can either use a fire spell, we can use Cornelius to convince his way through, or we could use the fancy rope. Alright, for this circumstance, I think I want Cornelius to do this. Well, actually, do we need to? This is merely to ignore a combat, I'm thinking. Well, we'll have Cornelius go for it. Go on, man. Hey. Alright, they bow to Cornelius and we go through. Now we have 2 choices. We can either go to the pit or we can go to the stone statue. For this run, I'm going to go to the stone statue. That seems more interesting. Alright. Now we have a choice to remove a card in this circumstance, or we can gain access to a rare shop. We do not have the money, nor do we have the cards to remove, so this challenge is useless, so we're just going to go without it. And we're left with these guys. Alright. Now I have a choice of sneak peek. Let's see, who we're going to target. We want somebody with a weak defense, so I'm probably going to go with the evoker in the back. She is not going to have a fun time. Alright, with that, I cast Blur, and there we go. We did manage to get some blocks, so that's fine. Although, we are suffering some damage now, so we will have to get some healing. We'll get some guard, we'll get the barricade, and we will use heat laser. X equals your hand in amount. But it applies burn, so that's the good thing. Okay. Scroll of Intellect should probably go on Otis. And we are going to start using Searing Touch. And we'll use Flare on the one in the back to deal fire damage. Like so. From here, we use Atonement. That'll bring her to Death's Door. We'll give a heal to Heiner, because he's looking a bit worse for wear. From here, we will give... I guess we'll give a... No, we'll wait. We'll give Protect from Evil to him. And from there, we can get Detoxify on I guess Cornelius, just in case he needs it. And there we go. Now we have the choice of cleaning up house with these guys. But let's start with a blur. Then we'll clean up you. From there, we will do a dual strike. And there we go. Okay, we will be suffering some damage because of Flamestorm, but that's fine. We'll live. Okay, from here, what we're going to do is we're going to get Barricade. We're going to intimidate the guy in the back. And we will barricade Cornelius, I guess. Just have somebody basically blocked up. Alright, with that we cast, I guess, Inner Combustion twice. And then we use Fiery Shield. We will then get some mana, and there we go. From here, we do have the option of using Healing Rain, but I'm not going to for the sake of our... Well, actually, no. If I use Sunbeam, then I can use Healing Rain without consequence. And that will give us some regeneration, which will help immensely. We'll use Prayer Protection, and healing is fine, so we're good. Alright. We are now defended. From here, we just Viper Strike. We'll Killer Instinct, Viper Strike, Poison Dart, and Dual Strike. And that's the fight. Simple enough. Rampage. Random monster repeat once. A nice ability. Again, it's an issue that we can't... Well, we can use it, it's just not a good choice for us. Again, most of these things are going to be hard to choose. Preferably we want more burns than anything, because burns are going to be more effective in the long run. Transmission is a decent one, and just having one is actually really good. If only for the upgrade of getting it to 1 mana and doing the burn here. However, for this one, I'm actually going to keep this as one of my 5 primary cards. So we're going to have Transmission as a primary card to keep. This is to grant mana for prep phases. Healing Rain, it's another burn card, so we can grab it. I just need to keep the... I need to focus on the dispel part. That's the key thing. Do we need more than that? They do burn, so yeah. Let's get another Healing Rain, just in case. Alright. Cornelius knows best how to use the altars. So, let's go with it. Alright. I can now use the altar to upgrade 1 card for free, which is good. Alright, first and foremost, we should probably go with the most expensive, which is probably the Protection from Evil. Now we have a choice. We can either go with the route of just protecting 1 person, or protecting everyone. For short-term fights, Protect from Evil Communal is just way better. So we'll get that. Alright, let's see. We're going to want to burn cards more than anything. So, what was the most expensive card out of everything? Oddly, the Scrolls of Intellect are the most expensive. I'm going to go with the more expensive, though. So probably the Fireball here is probably going to be better off. At least in my opinion, anyways. Yeah, it appears that there's a draw 1, grant 1, or grant... yeah. So basically the Scrolls of Intellect, they have their own choices. Either way they burn, so it's kind of pointless. I'm going to get the burn for Fireball. Alright, that leaves Thulus and Heiner. Alright, for Shield, we can either upgrade it to 0.5 art block and apply 3, or we can go with 0.7 art block and apply 3. I'm going to go with the more expensive option, strictly because once I get enough block, that's going to be a heavy hitter card. That's assuming I want to go that route anyways. I think we also want to consider Bluff actually burning, because that would be a pretty good card to burn. Let's see. Got 126s, 294s. Actually, Entrench It would be a good card to upgrade. We'll upgrade Entrench to its highest tier, which gives us Fortify 2, which is going to be a fantastic block card for us. Now for Thulus. Let's see. We got Viper Strike, we've got Poison Dart. There's Sneak Peek, which is burned. We've got another one that doesn't burn. I think the... I don't know. Let's see. What's the most costly card? Ambush is a costly card. This requires Stealth, but it's an innate. We could get this to apply 3 slow. Alright. Honestly, I think the innate is going to be a good thing here. So, well, am I going to use this card often in the near future? Probably not. What am I going to use then? I'm definitely going to be using Blurs. So there's 126. Sneak Peek, probably going to ditch that in the near future. So it's a choice between Blur and Viper Strike. I'm going to go with Blur, and I'm going to get the 2 evasion choice. And I'm probably going to get rid of the other Blur, I'm thinking. But that should be everybody upgraded, and we should be good to go. Alright, what's in the secret room? An Imperial Potion. The secret door takes you to a room with a large chest. You open the chest to find some items that might be useful. Among them, a bright orange potion catches your eye. As soon as you take the potion out of the chest, its contents begin to disappear. You don't know if it is drinkable, but there is no time, and only one can drink it before it completely vanishes. Who will drink it? Because this appears to be a Cornelius-oriented area, I'm going to give it Cornelius. He receives Heat Surge. On draw, draw 1, dispel fire, gain 1 energy, and 2 insulate. When you drink the potion, you notice your body warming up. After a brief moment, you feel a surge of energy within you, and your body temperature drops again. You do not know exactly why, but you believe that this phenomenon will repeat itself again. You take the rest of the items in a chest. And as a result, we got a bunch of items. Buckets, not that good. Not for us, anyways. Alright, so we got a choice between an Acolyte Tunic, we got Morning Star. I'm gonna go with... Well, hold on, let me check this. We've got Hammer... Hammer. Okay, so we'll go with the Morning Star for Heiner. For Thulus, we are going to want not Sharp, but we'll probably grab either the Opal Ring or something else. Before we do, I guess let's grab... I guess we could have Cornelius grab the leather gloves. Otis should probably get the opal ring. And we'll have Tholos currently rock the tunic, because that'll help with his defenses. Alright, next we go to the summoning circle. You reach the end of the basement, and here you can see many cultists in a summoning circle. The summoning has begun, and from the number of cultists, it does not seem just like a normal imp will show up. They become aware of your presence near the ritual, and some cultists leave the circle to confront you. The cultist looks at you suspiciously, waiting for an answer. You fools! Don't you know what you're doing? Stop this at once! And... fire. The nearby cultists recognize Cornelius immediately. They bow down and leave, but it's too late, and the ritual is about to end. The ritual ended, the room filled with red smoke, and the temperature rose rapidly. You don't know if it went well or not, but all the remaining cultists start to flee in panic after realizing what they've done. An impressive imp appears before you. It's the greater demon Belflor, the lord of the imps. What do you want from me, mortal? He says. Although he's been weakened by the precarious summoning conditions, you cannot underestimate him. Hello, old friend. We meet again. I see you're still alive, and you dare to call me old friend. Last time you summoned me into the depths of that damned forge, and then abandoned me to my fate. You owe me one, and now is the perfect time to repay me. Your former followers are using my imps as mere tools. They've had enough, and now they're out for revenge. Take this scroll and use it in a place full of cultists. Do this for me and we'll be even. Plus, I'll reward you generously. Alright. Now he wants us to summon the imps in a place full of cultists. Now there is only one place I know where that is a viable option. We're just gonna have to be ready because Cornelius is fit for fire combat, not so much for dealing with fire on fire, which is not good. Alright. Now we have upgrades. Once you get enough prestige, or as I call it, experience, you get to choose unique things for your hero. In the case of Heiner, he gets Steel Forge and Reactive Laser. Steel Forge grants you +2 block, and when you block, all heroes gain 3 block and 1 fortify. That lasts for 7 uses. Now, I'm not sure if these fortifies do stack, but if they do, then that's going to be a powerful ability. However, on the other hand, Reactive Laser transforms damage to fire, and when you block, you deal 4 damage and apply 1 fire to all monsters. 9 times specifically. I'm going to go with Steel Forge because he's built for our tank. Tholos has Black Talons and Subterfuge. Subterfuge is basically a stealth skill, while Black Talons is a poison and dark skill. Now, this is pretty good on its own, but it only lasts 1 turn, so I have to keep that in mind. And it deals 8 shadow damage and applies 1 dark. So it's good if you want to go dark route. Stealth, on the other hand, does deal additional damage the more stacks of stealth you get. So I may just get Subterfuge, to be honest. If I am damaged by others also, I gain 1 stealth and 2 fast, which is pretty good. So I'm going to give him that. Now, for Cornelius, we've got Fireproof and Hellflame. Fireproof gives 30% resistance, and if you're damaged, you apply 3 fire. That lasts for 7 uses. Or we can go with Hellflame, which is 3 fire charges, or fire charges plus 3. And the next 2 spells deal additional 6 damage and apply 2 fire to the highest HP monsters. Now, for the short term, this is a good ability. But for the long term, it's not that good. I think it's better ultimately to have Fireproof, because it applies 3 burn for each individual monster, whereas this just applies 3 charges on top of 2 additional charges on 2 people. And that's not including any upgrades it has, right? Yeah, this would basically give this would give 21 burn ultimately. This would give about 10 burn on top of a bit of damage, 12 damage specifically. So technically this deal more damage, but this would deal more damage overall. So we're going to go with Fireproof. As for Otis, let's see. We've got Praise the Sun, which deals fire and sanctify damage. Or we go with Unwavering Faith, which applies 3 additional shield charges, and when you apply shield, you can apply 2 courage and 1 vitality. It lasts 1 turn, of course, but when you're using an AoE, this is a very good spell. So I'm going to go with Otis for that. And now we have a choice. We can either go down the main path here, or we can go north and we can deal with the bandit camp up here. I think we deal with the bandit camp, because it's going to be really helpful to do. Alright. All damage plus 2, immune to cold and slow. And they get the cold ability. That is a really nasty ability, especially for early on in the game. Do I want to do it? Every 2 rounds adds a freeze to all monsters. So that's 6 damage. Yeah, no. We're not using Sub-Zero. As much as I want the resources, it's not worth it. If we were a stronger group, sure. It would definitely be a good choice. But not this time around. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to focus on dealing with these guys. So first, we Dual Strike. We Viper Strike. Poison. Poison. Blur. Done. Here we go. And we just wait. Because the Warboar is in such tatters, we don't need to worry about his health. We can just worry about guarding, and then we're good. We will just start with an Entrench, so everybody gets a high buff of AC. And we will intimidate this boar next. That way we can deal a lot of damage. Okay, we have a choice of using Fireproof or using some spells. I guess we'll prep for the next turn. So we'll use a Scroll of Intellect on Otis. We'll use Fireproof. And we will fire up the boar here. And leave 2 mana left. Alright. We can either throw down Protect from Evil and give everybody 33. We do have Fortify, so the block will last. For reference, block is not removed at the end of a round if we do select this. So yeah, let's do that. We'll do that. We will get a barrier for Heiner. And we will start... we can't use Healing Rain. We'll hold off on Healing Rain. And from here, we do... Well, we can actually just attack through, I guess. We'll attack through, We'll do poison damage. And there we go. That should do it. Okay, that's another wolf done. And as you can see, we've already got a gimmick going down. We're just going front to back from a fighting style, it looks like. Alright, we do barricade. We give everybody an additional block. And everybody's near enough 100 block, which is nice. Okay. From here, we shall use, I guess, Searing Touch. And then we will use Fireball on this man. And then Inner Combustion. And that should burn quite a bit. We'll use Sunbeam. And now he should be dead. We will use the Shield of Warding, I guess. Nobody needs to be healed, so we're good on that front. And the Wolf Boy is basically done. And from here, finish off the board with a dagger. And round 3 is cleared. Okay, from here we choose a card that we want. Honestly, I'm gonna go with Toxic Rain because that's a really useful card. I will have to upgrade it to the apply 3 poison solely, but otherwise that should be fine. So we'll get Toxic Rain, we'll get more shards here. But yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to get Toxic Rain, we're going to get 3 poison, just constantly applied. And that'll be our second card that we use, because we're going to apply a lot of poison. That's the goal anyways. Worst case, we'll figure out a way to ditch it if we don't like it. No fire cards, so we'll ditch those. And nothing too special here. Well, I guess there is Vile Gas, which would increase the damage of it. It also is a burn, but I'm not going to get it. Alright, let's see. There is a tower side. Forest Ruins, South Gate. Okay, let's take the alternate route. Tower side. As you go around the tower, or rather, as you go around the tower, you see a man with a wooden sword practicing some movements. When you approach, he speaks to you. Hello, adventurers. Perhaps you are interested in some combat training. I can teach you one of my special defense moves for 200 gold. If you all want to learn it, it will cost you 1,000 gold. I used to train young soldiers in this tower, but since the war ended, I'm out of work and short of money. Because it's a defensive move, I'm going to give it to... Yeah, I guess give it to Heiner is the best choice. Let's see. On draw, draw 1, dispel slow, and gain 8 shield. That's actually pretty good. Let's grab it. After training for a while, only one of you manages to learn the new defensive move, but it was a good combat practice, and the whole group gained some experience. And as a result, yeah, we got some extra goodies because of it. Now we have a choice. We can either go to Storytime, we can go to the Fang Gates, or really anything. I'm going to go to the edge of the forest here. Alright, for this we're going to want to forage, because we don't need any healing currently. And we managed to get some gold, shards, and some experience. Now, we've already been this way, so I'm going to check the West Fang Gates specifically. And we have the choice of getting Mana Surge, or you can remove 1 card from the deck, which it seems to be a common occurrence, oddly enough. We could theoretically move a Flare from Cornelius, and we could remove some cards here if we need to. Because I don't see us using Inspire Courage that much. But you never know, right? Mana Surge alternatively. 2 mana to jump 4 individuals, which is basically 5 mana. Split between everybody? Nah. I also have to keep in mind that we will be dealing with magic mushrooms. We will suffer 4 insanity damage. We'll lose 1 energy and suffer 8. And we'll suffer 8 on a debuff. And that's at the top of a random hero's deck every time. And it's an application on draw, which is the issue. I'm not confident I can handle any cards or Obelisk Corruption currently, so I'm going to abstain from it. For the sole reason that we can just do stuff at town for that sort of thing. Alright, for this, we're going to want to get a sneak peek at, I guess, this dude real quick. Alright. I guess we'll do Dual Strike due to Viper Strikes and Blur. There we go. I really need to get some initiative on Heiner, because he needs to be faster than this. Having a tank go first is really helpful for when you're applying block, because otherwise you just don't benefit from defense. Alright, but I digress. We'll get Steel Forge, we'll get Barricade, we'll apply block. When you block, all heroes will gain 11-2. Aren't I blocking? Alright, well, whatever. It don't matter. We'll, weaken these guys. That leaves Cornelius to Fireball with a nice 45. We will get a Flare going on? No, let's get a Searing Touch so we deal with one of them. We'll then burn this boy here. And there we go. That's him. From here, we're going to want a Prayer of Protection. Do we need healing? I guess we do need a little bit. Shouldn't be too big an issue. Alright, that's round 1. Alright, Killer Instinct. Ambush. Viper Strike. That's 1 dealt with. Haha. We're doing quite a lot of damage, it seems, which is good. Ah, so that's how it applies. I see. So every time Heiner is attacked, then he gives out the buff. I see. Alright, well, let's do a Heat Laser. Alright, and we'll do a guard on Cornelius. Give intercept on Otis. And there we go. We've got 2 scrolls of intellect. We'll just give 2 to Cornelius. We will do Searing Touch, Flare, and Heat Wave, which will cause everybody to suffer damage, technically. But we will do Atonement. Alright, I guess we'll just cleanse it with Healing Rain. And we'll do a barrier for, I guess, Tholis. Why not? Extra AC never hurt. Alright, Toxic Rain. Poison Dart, Poison Dart, Poison Dart, Dual Strike. And he'll probably be dead by this turn, which is good. But we'll just use a shield charge to finish him off. 3 turns, all it took. Okay. That leaves us with some materials. We're gonna want to get shards. Do we want anything here? No. Shards. Frostbolt? No. Shards. Ray of Hope. Do we want that? It does not apply to every hero, so it's a useless card, at least in my eyes. We can get Expected Prophecy, which allow us to draw 2 cards. And place 2 cards from our deck, or from our hand to the top of my deck. Which is good if you want to shuffle important cards. So it's a good reorganizer if you need it. Great if you want to prep a turn. If this was a burn card, I'd definitely consider it. But it's not. So I'm going to go against my better judgment and not grab it. But that's fine. Alright. Apparently, Otis is willing to become bait, but no. There's not... We're gonna fight this. Alright, first we're gonna want to activate Subterfuge. Well, do we... Alright, well, Killer Instinct. Subterfuge. Okay, I just ruined my stealth. My bad. Alright, well, rip. Never said I was the best at this game, but hey. We try our best. But I digress. We will use Entrench. We will intimidate the heck out of this man. We'll use a block on... Thullus? No, we'll give it to Heiner, why not? He is the tank after all. Alright, we'll give Scroll of Intellect Cornelius. We are going to want to Flare. Flare. Inner Combustion. There we go. From here, we cast Protection from Evil. And we're not suffering damage, so we can just do a Sunbeam. There we go. And now he's at 130 health already. Jeez. Now, to get a good clear, you want to deal with him immediately. So, killing Yager quickly is the best course of action you can do. Alright, we're going to go with Toxic Rain. We're going to go with Blur and Sneak Peek. We will end our turn for Thullus currently. Yes, I could have had him attack, but I want to focus down Yager as quickly as possible. For that, we're going to get Steel Forge activated, I believe. And we'll get Barricade set up. Or do you want Heat Laser? X equal to your hands in cards. And you gain 18 block, 3 fortify, and 1 taunt. Let's go with that. And we'll just do that. There we go. Now we got taunt, so they're going to focus Heiner, which is ultimately going to help get the fortify going. Which is what we want ultimately in the end. Alright, from here, we have a choice of... We're going to go Flare. Do we want Transmission? Not this moment, no. Instead, we're just going to focus on Inner Combustion there. And now we're really burning into him. We'll do Atonement. And now by the time his turn comes up on round 3, he should be dead. Let's see. He'll go to -3, so 1 Healing Rain wouldn't hurt if it wasn't for the fact it's fire. So we'll go with Unwavering Faith. We'll give Infuse Courage. Nothing for Detoxify, so we'll just have it on his... We'll have it on Cornelius because he doesn't have a buffer. And we'll end a turn. From here, it's just as simple as using Poison Darts just to confirm the kill. And Blur. There we go. We just wait, and he should die by the end of his turn. Assuming things go well. Which it does. And there we go. Okay. Sharing is caring is an interesting thing. We're not going to grab it, though. It's a nice ability, but in practice it's not that good, I don't think. Yes, it can be split against all heroes, but it's one of those things where it's good, but it's also not good. Yeah. But yeah, no, we're not grabbing that. We could grab parry, but we get enough block and fortify that we don't need to worry about that. We've got replenishment if we wish, but that's a 5 mana skill, which we definitely aren't doing. We could get life tap as an option, but it does require us to lose HP, which is not good for Cornelius in particular. Or at least it's not a good choice with Otis, as he is the shield maker, not the HP giver. Alright, we now have Clarity, Terrorize. Clarity, interesting spell, not useful in our case. Because there are better purge spells in the deck that you can grab, so better to ignore it. Alright, we come out of this looking rich and peachy with 240 for materials. Alright, Yager's Cleaver is a good weapon for bleed builds. Not so much in the case of our character here, but it's still damage that we can use. So it's an option. Okay. I don't think we're going to worry about it, though. We will be giving the wolfskin cloak to Heiner, I believe, because that is 5 resistance for everything. Alright, let's see. We can either get the Acolyte Tonic, we can get the Spyglass, which not so good. We're going to go with Yager's Cleaver for now, strictly because of the damage, but not so much to bleed. We do have the option of the Magus Staff, which will give us +1 to everything in element damage, but we shouldn't need it. Instead, we're probably going to go with Spyglass here, and for Otis, we're going to want the... I think the Acolyte Tunic would be the better choice here, if only for the defense. From there, we can choose to engage quickly, we can rest, or something else. We don't need a rest because we do have plenty of HP. We're actually full, so we'll just engage quickly. No need to waste energy on something we don't need to do, after all. Alright, we're going to get a sneak peek. And we are going to dual strike, poison, poison, subterfuge. Alright, next we've got Heiner. We are going to... We don't need to use guard, so we will use steel skin instead. We will intercept with Cornelius. And we will intimidate the heck out the Chainted Dryad, because she'll be a bigger concern for us. We'll leave the rest of his mana safely. And Cornelius will give extra mana to. And let us burn this forest to the ground. Starting with a fireball? Yeah, let's start with a fireball. From there, we move on to the flare. Go on with a heat wave. And we are going to follow up with prayer protection. And we will beef up, I guess, Heiner? Yeah, why not? Do we want a healing rain? Yes, why not? It'll give us some regen, which we sorely need. Alright. Now, mind you, the poison is going to still tick, so that is good to note. And we don't have to worry about damage, because high AC values, that's for sure. Alright, from here, barricade, barricade, shield charge. And that is a lot of damage that's slowly going to stack up. Alright, we're going to want to use Toxic Rain, Poison Dart, Killer Instinct, Ambush for high damage, and Blur. Alright. Otis is perfectly fine for the most part. He just took 1 damage, which is fine. We will be using Healing Rain here. We'll use Atonement. Alright, we're going to want to Detoxify. We'll use Barrier to heal. And the normal heal we'll leave alone. Okay. From here, we just give Cornelius the second scroll, and we start cooking this tree alive. As for what we use, we're going to use... I do believe Fireproof is the best choice here. Here's what we'll do. We'll use Fireproof, we'll use Searing Touch, we'll use Inner Combustion, and then we'll use Flare. Now he's cooking for 11 damage, and that's only going to get bigger. Alright, we're going to follow up with 2 Viper Strikes for additional poison damage. We'll give him Poison Darts, Blur, there we go. Now we follow up with Steel Forge for defense. We throw down a Howl. We'll get a Guard going to increase our Fortify stack. And Fortify Cornelius temporarily. There we go. Now we have a choice of Fireball, or we can just sear him immensely. Alright, I'm going to cook him quite a lot. Inner Combustion, Fiery Shield. And he is basically dead. And that's round 3, no less. Jeez. Alright, let's give protection to everybody. We'll give Inspire Courage to... Well, no, we'll give him Shield of Warding, why not? And that should be it. There we go. Now that is how you cleanse a tree. Alright. Ooh, this is a good card. Now, normally, when you're picking cards, you gotta keep in mind what you're gonna go with. For things like Sharpening Knife, which is actually a pretty good card if it's burn. Yeah, no, it gives a temporary buff, but it's still a buff nonetheless that is going to help when you use stealth with it. So for something like this, it's actually pretty good. Hidden Weapon. That is a decent weapon if you're using a lot of small weapons. For melee attacks, not so much. But hey, it's the thought that counts. And if it's a burn, it's much better, I find. For this case, though, I'm going to go with Sharpening Knife, honestly, because the burn is quite literally useful here. We are going to want Shield Breaker, I think, because that will defeat people that have immense blocks. Alright, we've got Drain Life, we've got Winter Knight's Tale, Tome of Intellect. We will not be getting any of those. We've got Pain Suppression, which is honestly not something I'm going to grab, but Panacea is definitely a grab. We get a bunch of loot for our troubles. We get some items to grab for our own merits. So for this, what we're probably going to want is... do we want block or do we want thorns? That's the question. Ah, Stone Amulet. +2 charges of block, +1 charges of fortify. We'll give that definitely to him. Otis, we're going to want to give Ylmer's Branch, I believe. Yeah, no. We'll give him Ylmer's Branch. Yggdrasil's Root is nice if you want the healing, but it's not good for the long run. Instead, I'm going to give our rogue, oddly enough, the Shield of Thorns, I'm thinking? Or do I give him the Force Crown? Food for thought. Food for thought. I could give him the Leather Gloves to deal additional damage. Or I could get the War Banner, give everybody a buff there. I'm gonna go with the Shield of Thorns. It's a little bit better, if only for the defensive aspects. As for Cornelius, we're gonna give him the Yggdrasil route, I think. Because, well, do I need to? No, let's give him the Forest Crown. The initiative's gonna help him a lot. I could have gone with the banner, but that's fine. Okay, Revenge of the Imps. Now, the best way to go about the revenge is going to the red portal. The question is whether I'm ready for that or not. Honestly, given how defensive we've been thus far, I'm confident we can actually handle it, because our defenses actually surpass fire damage, which is good to note. So as long as we are able to block, then we're good. Okay, so he gave us the scroll to summon the imps here, so we have to go down the southern route and use it on the stone table here. But that is besides the point. It seems there's also the mysterious throne, so that's nice, so we can check that out. But yeah, all in all, not bad. Alright, town upgrades. We can get some upgrades if we so desire, but I'm going to abstain from it. To roughly explain what town upgrades are, these are basically what you need to spend supplies on in order to get better perks for your towns. In my case, I've already bought a lot because I've been playing this game for quite a while. I've been mainly focusing the altar though, and the magic forge, because both are actually very useful. The less you have to spend and the more you have to work with, the better, I find. And even if you, in the early game, don't get much gear, it's better if you just do it to upgrade these two early on, because they just benefit you so much. The church, on the other hand, definitely fantastic though, because you can remove cards for free, which is fantastic. So removing cards in general is nice. Removing cards for free is also pretty good. But yeah, that's besides the point. Of course, it costs money now to remove gear, so we have to keep that in mind, but that is a inconsequential worry. For now, let us organize our materials and go from there, because now is when we really get to build our deck. So first and foremost, we've got way too many flares. I would like to get rid of a few. Searing Touch is nice, but we should probably get rid of one. So now our deck is back down to a 15. Before we move on, we need to get Ember Storm. Ember Storm is a fantastic spell, even though it doesn't apply that much from the looks of it. In the case of Cornelius, though, it is basically a apply 3 burn, or apply 4 burn in the case of burn, or the burn ability. when you don't need it. So Emberstorm is a good overall card if you want to burn your cards and go from there. So great for burning and just playing out on the board, which is fantastic for us. Alright. We're going to go back to the church. We're going to remove a... Well, hold on. Let's see what these upgrade into. Alright, so we can either upgrade it to deal 5 burn and 1 vulnerable, or 7 burn. Alternatively, we've got Flare, which upgrades to 3 damage, or a 3 mana cost, with a 6 burn. Fireballs are deal 31, target side 17. Honestly, I don't plan on keeping fireballs often, as much as they are nice, because they do not apply burn, which is the suck bit. If I want anything, I'm going to want to focus on burn. That is basically the gimmick of the deck. So we'll have the fireballs burn. We'll have 1 flare go to tier 6. Do we want this one upgraded, or we'll remove 1. Yeah, we'll remove the normal flare, I'm thinking. And Searing Touch will remove. And for this, we will upgrade. As for what we choose, it's really a choice of whether we want more burn or do we want vulnerable. Vulnerable applies 5, or reduces resistance by 5. So that's a good thing, I guess. Let's see. Well, the resistance, all resistances go by -5 for each time this is applied. So it is pretty good in that sense. And it is a 1-cost card, so it's not that bad, ultimately. It would deal more damage. It does have a max stack of 50%, but that's fine. Let's upgrade it, why not? As for these Ember Storms, it's basically the same case here. We want these to burn, I think. Inner Combustion is probably going to go, I think, as well. Well, Heat Wave, yeah, we'll think about it. Inner Combustion, though, is questionable. But it does give Fiery Shield a reason to exist, though. So I have to keep that in mind. I should only need 1, though, for that, then. We should probably focus on X equals your fire times 0.5. Apply 5, you suffer 5. X equals your fire by 5, you suffer 5. I'm just not a fan of it, honestly. I don't know. Maybe that's just my opinion. Scrolls of Intellect will leave. Alright, we want to get Heat Wave that affects all monsters. This will mean a burn on them. And I think that leaves Cornelius with how many cards to work in his deck? He currently has only 2 active cards. That's not good. We should probably give him some more fodder to work with. So he's got a 1-cost card, he's got a 3-cost card. We'll give him a 0 or 2-cost. We'll need a big cost card and a smaller cost card. Okay, so Flame Strike and Firestorm are good. Flame Strike would be a good big spell. Firestorm is a good repeat, but it only applies fire damage, so not burn. We're gonna want Flame Strike, I think. Alright, so Flame Strike will be 1. We're going to need 2 more. We could get Scorching Ray, we could get Searing Nova. We could also get the Grimoire Flames as well. Gain 1 card draw, place 2 fireballs on the top of your deck, cost 0 and vanish. Or shuffle 2 fireball in deck, cost 0 and vanish. Free fireballs isn't bad. And it's a burn, so it would be good to have in the later days. But I think Scorching Ray is a winner. Strictly because of its burn? Well, again, it's a 3-cost card, so we have to keep that in mind. So I'd prefer not to do if I can. Let's see. Fire Blast is a decent one if we want a cheap card. I'd prefer not to rely on that, though, if I can help it. Ember Storm's done. We got Searing Flame, yeah. Okay, so 2nd level spells. Let's see what we got for choices. Elemental Bolt is nice, but not needed. Ignite would be pretty good. Yeah, if we get Ignite, then we can deal 12 ignition damage. Immolate would be a decent one if we want to use fire damage. This damage can be blocked and is not affected by other modifiers. We could go with Immolate. That's actually a really powerful ability, I do believe. We can either go with the deal 24, apply 3, and suffer 5. We could go with the X, deal X, apply X, and suffer X and X, which is not so good. Living Flame would actually be pretty good because it's a jump spell. Do we want it to jump more, though, is the question. Not really. Jump spells are pretty good. To describe, jump spells basically apply the effects of a spell, so long as there is 2 enemies on the board and it bounces around between them. So it's useful in those instances. Not so good in other instances, though. I think Ignite wins over everything, though, ultimately. It's just a good single target spell, even though it's just Ignite. If I had something to double the burn damage, I would grab it immediately, if I could. But I doubt there is, so rip that idea. But I do believe that brings him up to 3 cards he can use, which is... yeah, so he's got a choice of Flare, Searing Touch, and Ignite. Should I give him some mana? I should give him something to accumulate mana and something else to help him out. I think that would be the best course of action, I think. At least I would assume, rather. Scroll of Intellect already does that. Somewhat. But not in a healthy way, I don't think. Let's see. Yeah, there's nothing too special that I can rely on here. There is Mana Surge, but that's not going to help us. Transmission is already in my deck. It's just a 2-cost card, and it does burn, so I gotta keep that in mind. Although, then again, I could just make this a non-burn card. That is an option. And that would definitely count as our 4th card. In which case, I'm probably going to be relying on the Grimoire Flames to deal with the rest of our fire damage. Which will give us 2 fireballs every now and again to utilize that goes into our deck. Which I actually don't want. I think it's better if I go with Scorching Ray. I'll grab 1 Scorching Ray. And I will upgrade transmission to be a non-burn card. Ignite will be upgraded to deal more. We will need to remove inner combustions, I do believe. We can get rid of Fiery Shield, though, at that point. And for Scorching Ray, we've got a choice between a focus target or a random monster. Let's see. This will apply 20 damage. This will apply 18. I think we go with the bigger. Even though it's random, I think it's better. Okay, in that case, we go to the church, we get rid of inner combustions. We will lose use of the Fiery Shield, unfortunately, but that's fine. We can worry about that later. Now, for Otis, or Otis, rather, or however you spell it. Alright, we've got a few choices. First of all, we're going to want Anthem of Good Hope, or Anthem of Hope, because that's just a solid spell to have. And from here, we're going to upgrade our Healing Rains to... let's see. I guess we could just use one Healing Rain to dispel. And go from there. Yeah, let's just get one to dispel fire and grant 2 healing. It's not the best choice, but it is a choice. From here, we've got a choice of items that we can go for. As for what we go for, it really depends on what we want. For Otis, I think the best choice is just get a mana potion. We'll lose out on some of the options, but that's fine. However, this does give us a chance to get Hurry Up for our tank. And for Tholos, we can get Slimy, which will give Poison Splash, which, if you don't know, applies 2 poison to all monsters, which is a fantastic thing for him. Alright, equipment-wise, though, we've got 291 gold left. We should be able to get away with a gold ring. So, nobody but Tholos has the ring, so we'll give it to him. And that's that. We are now as set as we can possibly be. So, with that, we leave and we go move on. We're going to go down south. And here is an interesting one that we're probably going to take. Not only for the, mainly for the ambidextrous ability. Okay, so ambidextrous. You duplicate 1 melee attack from your hand, and the cost is reduced by 3. A fantastic ability for Tholos. Especially if I choose to get a higher cost card for him. So if I'm going to go a high poison card, this would be the way to go. Which probably makes the most sense. And because of this, we will be disarmed for every 2 rounds, unfortunately. But, considering we're going to be focusing on fire damage and poison, we shouldn't be too worried. Half of that damage, mind you, is from Tholos dealing damage directly, but that is not a worry, at least a heavy worry. Okay, let us start with a sneak peek. We'll then follow up with 2 dual strikes. A Viper Strike, and a Poison Dart. Alright. We'll get Scroll of Intellect activated. We will activate Fireball? No, we want Ember Storm for fire damage. Then we will go with Fireball, which will... No, we want Scorching Ray, actually. We'll go Scorching Ray for more fire damage. Because we want the damage over time to be the key thing here. Okay. Ah, pain. Hopefully we can get Heiner to actually start blocking now. Here we go. Alright, entrench. And I guess intimidate the girl in the back. And from here, we don't use Healing Rain that applies wet, but we use Prayer Protection. We'll use the Shield of Warding. And we will use Atonement on her. There we go, that should work. Alright, now the poison does its work. We cannot attack normally, but we can use small weapons, which is the advantage here. So, what we'll do is we'll use the sharpening knife here to deal 11 damage, and then we can go into a blur. Now that our defenses are up, we should be having an easier time dealing with enemies. Despite our circumstances, I should say. Okay, from here, I can dispel any wet, apply heat. I can use another intellect. We can either burn, which we could use Searing Flame, but I'm not going to. Instead, I am going to use Flare. That'll bring her into Death's Door. We will then use Ignite, and Fiery Shield will follow. And now, the fire should kill the imp and the girl without our intervention. From this point on, we use Steel Forge, we use Heat Laser in tandem to get the taunt off, and they will attack us, giving Fortify to our companions. And as a result, we are basically golden. But before that, we cast Barrier. Do we want Anthem of Hope? No. But we will use Panacea on Heiner to cure him of his concerns of fire. And just to be sure, we will use Inspire Courage. And we will boost up Otis just a little bit. There we go. A nice cleansing, as it were. Alright, because of this, we can activate... Well, first, let's use Toxic Rain. Then we use Killer Instinct to get stealth. Then we ambush the girl. And now she's on Death's Door. Which is good for us. It means the poison will kill her, and we don't have to worry about her in the end. And we just block up. We'll get an intercept for, I guess, himself. Because why not? Okay, she summoned an imp. She threw a fireball, but it did nothing for us, which is good. And now we're just left with dealing with these guys, which is basically rather simple. We just use an Ember Storm and a fireball. That clears up most of them. This dude will die from poison. We just need to sunburst that dude down. We don't need to use prayer healing nor heal, so that's good. And while it is round 4, we did manage to succeed in our mission. So, yeah, we got ambidextrous. Okay, with that, we can get more shards. Do we need setup? No. Well, draw 3, place 2 from your hand on top of your deck. Nah, we don't need it. Ember Storm again. Do we want another Ember Storm in our deck? That'll burn. I mean, having more never hurt. We just need to upgrade it as soon as we can. This is the prep phase after all. Bad Augury, I don't think we need, so we will leave that alone. Worst case, we can always use it later. Alright. Let's use the scroll and release the imps. You arrive at some kind of party. It seems that the cultists are organizing a banquet for the new members. They seem too drunk or immersed in a party to be bothered by your presence here. This is a perfect place for to use the scroll that Belfior gave you. You notice that some of the cultists are playing a drinking game. Maybe you can talk to them or join a game to extract useful information. You summon the imps, and they start fighting the cultists. A small group of sober cultists realize what you did and come to fight you. Well, unfortunately for them, they're going to have a rough time. Alright, so because of our stealth, we can ambush somebody. We're going to go to ambush the Evoker. We'll use Toxic Rain. And we will follow up with, I guess, a Viper Strike. Get the poison in, basically. Alright, we go in with Fireproof. We get a Scroll of Intellect active. Get the Ember Storm, Searing Touch, and Fiery Storm. There we go. Damage is cooking up nice, rather well. Although, I seem to note that the burn isn't going as fast, but that's probably due to their fire resistance, mainly. Okay, Unwavering Faith is good when we have more block, I think. Yeah, when you apply block, then it's good. In this case, it's not so good, so we will just block here. We will block, I guess, again. Yeah, we'll keep blocking you, buddy. Do we need to detoxify? No, not yet. Okay. We use the Steel Forge. We use Barricade. And do we want to shield break somebody? Yes, we should probably break her. There we go. Now she's in death range, which is golden for us. Okay. We can duplicate a melee attack in our hand and reduce its cost. We'll just duplicate the Fire or Viper Strike, which is convenient for us. Alright, we get Killer Instinct, we use Viper Strike, Poison Darts, and now we Blur, so we're not targeted anymore. Which is the convenient thing about Blur, or rather Stealth, I should say. Which is nice. Okay, that leaves us with the Scroll of Intellect, which we'll buff up. We will use Ember Storm twice over, I want to say. We could also use Flare. No, I think we use Flare. Then we follow up with Ignite, just to add more damage. Alright. With that, we use Barricade and then Bluff. There we go. From here, we use Sunbeam to deal with you some. We activate the Prayer of Healing, I want to say? No, we want Panacea. That will heal up. And there we go. That'll have to do. Ah, right, Fortify. That's actually really nice. Alright, so he's going to die on his round, but we should probably kill him just in case. We'll use Poison to take him out, and there. Done. Round 3. Cleaning up house really quick, mind you. Let's see. How's his cards doing? We could do with a lot less cards, though. Ah, well. Alright, we'll get shards. There's Sweet Melody if we want to start using stanzas, which is pretty good. Camouflage would be a decent one to grab. If we want to use it, that is. It would be great to add the additional damage. I won't deny that. And it would work well with the ambush tactic. Assuming we get it to do more. But I'm going to abstain. There is the Shiv, but again, it does not drain, so that is not that good. Alright, we'll abstain from that. We do have a burn of another Ember Storm, though. So we do have this option. Do we want another Ember Storm, though? Why not? It's a burn. We'll get more burns as we go on. Alright. None of these appeal to me for Otis, so we'll just get the stuff. And now we've got a new companion. The fight is over. No cultists are left alive, and the Imps retreat victorious. 2 Imps approach you with a golden chest and a note from Bellafor. You have honored the deal, and here is your reward. Good luck until our paths cross again. One of the Imps disappears. The other, a young Imp named Flamey, wants to accompany you on your adventures, as thanks for freeing him. Inside the chest you find a lot of gold and magic shards, as well as a few magic items that can be very useful. Namely, we get Flamey, which allows us to cast Flame Ember on a random monster every now and again. Now, naturally, I'm just going to give this to Cornelius. He's an alright character, I'm going to say. But I wouldn't say he's the perfect character. Searing Blast. All monsters deal 6 damage, apply 3 burn. And that's on the first turn if I use this. Interesting. Okay. No, we're going to want Flamey. Alright, what else do we have? We have a small weapon. We can shuffle small weapons into our deck. Okay, I can shuffle a small weapon into my deck. Okay. Not multiple. Alright, everything else. Not really that interesting. There's the Carp, which is pretty alright, because it gives you a draw 1, grant 1. Grant 1 vitality, which gives basically a bit of health. So that's an option. We could get the Brass Amulet, which is 4 HP, resistance +2. Oh, sharp +1. I guess Tholis could benefit from it a little bit. What's his deck looking like? Hold on. Yeah, no. Never mind. Well, actually, no. He's got Sharpening Knife, so it would give a Sharpening Knife a +1. Although that's only 7 damage. That's not good. No. Okay. What we're probably going to do is we're going to take... we're going to take the gold here. We'll take the gold here. And for Otis himself, I don't think he's going to use anything here, so yeah. More coins. 300 gold. Alright, we've got the choice of the Crane event, or we can go with the Fire Bazaar. Either way, we should be fine. I guess I could go to the Cult Temple as I'm going. Do I want to go south? The Bazaar would actually get us some money, or it could open up a shop for us. It could be useful to go to the shop, actually. And it'll give us a chance to go to the empty tent. Yeah, we're not going to go on to deal with the other thing anyways, so yeah, let's leave it. We can get a free card upgrade if we let this happen. 2 damage, immune to Dark and Decay. It applies Dark and Decay, though. No, we're not letting that happen. Although, then again, Decay wouldn't be that bad, but the Dark is still bad. Plus, they're going faster than us, so that's an annoying thing. Okay, let's see. Alright, well, let's start with this man in front. The more damage we deal to him, the better. Alright, let's cast a Blur. We'll keep Killer Instinct for now. Alright, we go with Ember Storm, Searing Touch, Ignite, and Scroll of Intellect. Alright, that man's burning like crazy. Good. He certainly won't be going next round, that's for sure. Okay. We'll get Steel Skin and Barricade for everybody. Alright, we go with a Protection from Evil for everybody. And we'll get a Barrier to heal. And there we go. That'll have to do for us for now. Alright, next focus is the Firebrander, obviously. Oh man, these guys are really pushing the pain on us. Alright. Toxic Rain. Follow up with a Sharpening Knife and Dual Blades. There we go, use up our mana there. From here, we use a... I guess we could use 2 Fireballs, that's an option. But he has 1 evasion, so it wouldn't be that good to target him alone. No, instead what we're going to do is we're going to get an Ember Storm. So that way we clear up that. We'll use 1 Fireball on him. We'll use another Ember Storm. And we'll use a Fiery Shield. There we go. That clears up everything for us to fight the other 2. Now we should probably use Healing Rain now. It will cleanse the fire, but that's fine. We just need the health more than anything. Alright, that just leaves 1 healing on these guys, but that's fine. Easy enough to deal with. There we go. Okay, with this, we can... I guess we can use Guard. Yep. We'll use Guard, we'll use Intercept, we'll use Intimidate twice, and boom. 39 damage. Ah, pain. Alright, let us follow up with a Viper Strike. Then another. And another. And a Poison Shot. There we go. We get Steel Forge. Then we go with Guard, I guess? Yep. Just to make sure we have our Fortify stacking rather well. And we use Scorching Ray here. Just for the extra damage. There we go. Throw down a Heat Wave. Buff her up. From here, we just use a... I guess... Unwavering Faith, Prayer of Protection, and a Sunbeam. And that should get into bleed status. There we go. Not too bad. That was actually rather quick and easy. Chant of Initiative. Ooh. Well, we could either keep this, or we could get the burn version, which costs 0. Now, I've had mixed results with Chant of Initiative. Usually it's a good card. Usually. But it really depends on your deck. I'm going to grab it because I actually quite like using Chants of Initiative, especially for our rogues. But it wholly depends on what you're trying to do. Alright, from here we're going to use some shards, and following that, let's see, we could use foresight. No, we don't need it. We're good. As for our golem, do we need barbed wire? Not really. We'll leave that. If we were something focused on barbed wire, sure. But we aren't. Alright, now the Fire Bazaar. Alright, let's see. Let us try to lower the price. See if we can. Nope. The increase is 25%, but there is some items we can take, I guess. Let's see. We can get the Pyromancer Robe, which is all resistances 10 and resistance 10 fire. What we're gonna definitely want though is the Lava Orb, I'm thinking. We could also get the Fire Rune. 1 fire damage every turn. Every 2 turns, apply 5 fire to all monsters. No, we're gonna want the Lava Orb. That is the only thing we're probably gonna get out of this guy. We tried, but we failed. That's the simplicity of it. Alright, let's forge for some goodies, if we can. Yep, we can. We got a bunch of goodies. Alright, from here, we can go to the cult camp here. We are ignoring this, because this just seems like a nasty thing to have. All damage +2, immune to poison. Shuffle Hatch into deck. It summons a parasite. Suffer 4... Yeah, you suffer for 4... God, words. Yeah, it's not that good. I'm gonna say no. It's fine. We'll live without those upgrades. We get plenty enough as it is. Alright. First, we start with... Alright, we're gonna want to start with the dude in the back. Pyromancer. Poison darts. And then we'll do the fronts monster. There we go. Alright. We go with the... I guess we got Flare, but we don't need that just yet. We'll use the Chant of Initiative. We'll use the Fireproof. We'll use the Ember Storm. And we will blast you for 28. There we go. That's a lot of burn. Alright. From here, we are left with Healing Rain. But we won't be able to use that, so what we're gonna do instead is... Yeah, we won't be able to apply this to everybody, but I guess the point is that we need to actually just use it in general. So we'll use it on him. We'll get Prayer of Healing out. Do we want Healing Rain? Might as well. We can always just reapply Flyer, after all. Alright, we use the Entrench. And there we go. That'll give us a ton of block to work with. And defend us from fire, that is, as well. So that's a plus. Jeez, that's a lot. Ooh, man. Okay. Let's see, we've got a fireball. So we will use one Ember Storm. We're probably going to want to use 2 Ember Storms here. Do we want to use a fireball or something else? Scorching Ray is an option. No, I'm just going to use a fireball here. It's more convenient and takes out one guy guaranteed. Okay. Chant of Initiative, we're going to want this on... Oddly enough, Otis is a good choice. For that, then we just throw in the Blur with 2 dodge, and then we're good. From here, we've got Atonement and Stun Beam. We're going to want Prayer of Protection. We will Inspire Courage on... Well, no, we won't. We'll use Sunbeam on you. Atonement on the same dude. We'll infuse Courage on, I guess, Thulis. And Detoxify is just a good block, so we'll just give that to Heiner for help. Okay. From here, we've got a Howl, we've got Steel Forge, so we'll use this, we'll use Howl, and we will use... we'll give everybody block, we'll give the Grant 19. There we go. Nice. Okay. So he's going to die to poison, it seems. So we don't need to worry about that. We should probably sharpen our knives against him then. He'll now die to poison. So we will just Viper Strike him. And now they're all dying to poison next round. That said, we don't have to wait for next round. So, Fireball. And Heatwave. And... I guess... Scroll of Intellect for extra potential. And do we have a damage card? Yes, Shield Bash. Boom. Crushed in 3 rounds. Alright, we've got a new spell, Chain Lightning. We've got Sanctuary, which gives all heroes a buffer. Now, we can't upgrade it to a all heroes with no burn. So this is probably going to be our key victory card, most likely. That we're going to be utilizing a lot. So we'll grab that. We'll choose shards here. Alright, find weakness. I think this is a key spell. This is something we used a lot in our deck. In my first few runs. But I'm not sure if that's the best choice for him. Or my dude here. Yeah, no. He's better using specific things. Although it looks like he's leveled up, though. Which seems to be right. When dealing damage with a hit, apply 3 poison. Or when you play a melee attack card that costs energy, refund 1 energy and gain 1 powerful. Well, I'm definitely getting poison, that's for sure. Alright. All damage plus 2. Damage with a hit. Apply 2 vulnerable and 2 decay. Or I can get Hidden Hand. If you play... Okay. I'm just plotting for the future with this man. But it's definitely going to be in Venom. That's obviously a plan. Okay. Well, we can't level up right now. His deck, though, consists of... Well, we're gonna definitely get rid of the dual strikes, because that, while they're nice, they're filling up the deck. We're gonna get rid of some of these Viper strikes in favor of trying to get one that doesn't hit just front's monster, and we can target anybody specifically. Do we have anything else? Ambush we'll probably keep. I haven't decided yet. But we do have enough stealth that it's warranted for keeping, I guess. Although we could do with a burn from this. But we will need a more permanent form of blur at some point. So we got 1, 2... sneak peek will probably ditch, to be honest. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so we'll have to probably ditch ambush if we want find weakness, which is arguably a bit better. That's assuming we want to abandon a stealth goal, which I kind of don't want. So we'll abandon the idea of find weakness this run, as much as it's nice to me. Okay. Now we have a choice. We can go to the mountain ledge or we can go to the cult temple. I'm going to go to the cult temple because we can, but I will worry about that later. Alright, so defense mastery. Reduce the cost of defense cards in your hand by 1 until they are discarded. Definitely grabbing that. For this, we are going grab Envenom. Alright, when dealing damage with a hit, apply 3 burn. That is really good for us. Or I can go with Firestarter, which is when you play a fire spell that costs energy, refund 1 energy and apply burn to a random enemy 3 times a turn. Okay, so anytime I play a fire card is basically I can refund 1 energy, which would make my cards more efficient. Ooh, that's a difficult one. Either I deal more burn with my cards, or I get more energy. As much as this is nice, I think the Firestarter is a little bit better. Hold on, let me check. 7 would be brought to 10. And all fire spells would basically give, yeah, all fire spells would basically deal 3 burn. Alternatively, I just make them cost 1 card, or I get 1 energy back each time I use a fire spell. So Searing Touches would be free, Ember Storms would be free. I think, yeah, no. I think Firestarter is way better. When you play a fire spell card that costs energy, refund 1 energy and apply 1 burn. And it applies 3 times a turn. So we're going to be using that a lot. Alright, Defense Mastery or Sacred. Sanctify 3. At the start of your turn, reduce the cost of defense cards in your hand by 1 until they're discarded. We're grabbing that, because we're going to be using a lot of defense cards. Alright. You enter the cultist's main base, where you meet their High Counselor, Urkel, along with a few cultists waiting for his order to attack you. Urkel seems willing to see what you want from him. You have entered their base and killed many cultists along the way to get here, so there's no chance of leading without a fight. Okay, so we can have the try to assassinate, or we could just go with, you know what, I'm gonna go with this. Who are you? I have the real counselor's staff. Oh, poor Cornelius. Are you so old that you don't even recognize your apprentice? You left a long time ago and abandoned us. You have no right to come back. Now I am the High Counselor and leader of the Burning Hand. Urkagul gestures to his minions, but they hesitate to face Cornelius and retreat. Still, Urkel prepares to fight. I see. So it's just a one-man grouping then. A shame for him, I guess. Not a shame for us, though. Not a shame for us. Alright, we're gonna get poison. 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 Dual strike. There we go. Ah, the burn. Alright, we go Steel Forge, Barricade, Guard, Intercept, and Intercept on himself. There we go. A good sizable chunk of protection. From here, we just get more mana. Yeah, no, it's really good here. We're just getting more mana. Alright, let's burn the heck out of this man. And because he's already at bleeding, we're basically good to just ignore that. Alright, from here, we can cast Protect from Evil, I guess, if we wanted to. I'm going to abstain for now, and just cast Sanctuary. We will cast Healing Rain that dispels fire. And I will use Shield of Warding on our tank. He will die at the end of his turn, which is good. And because he attacked him, well, our AC sticks. From here, we use Chant of Initiative on Cornelius. We use Poison Darts to follow up, and we use Blur. I guess we could have used Sneak Peek there, but yeah, whatever. Alright. Now for the crazy. We go Heat Wave, Ember Storm, Ember Storm, Ember Storm, Scorching Ray, and the damage is slowly getting worse for him. Oh jeez, that's nearly death. Oh, good gravy. Oh no. My poor boy Otis is dead. That's 155 burn right there. Guard, Barricade. Okay, well I can't do much. Otis, you're dead. I'm sorry. Well, rip Otis, I guess. Then again, I guess nobody suspects the 155 damage transfer. Alright. Well, whatever. Ambidextrous, let's do Viper Strike. Take that out. And we'll do the ambush there. Done. And from there, well, Fireball. Keep it simple. Otis went down, but that's fine. We'll live with our situation. Alright. We've got some interesting spells, like Holy Aegis is an interesting one. Grant X, which is our draw pile, multiplied by 4. Got Holy Fire, we've got Sacred Ceremony. We got a bit too many spells, I want to say, to use that. Although Holy Aegis would be nice. Well, let me decide. Let's see. Anthem of Hope is definitely being kept, because that's going to give a buff for everybody. Prayer of Healing is a good regen and heal, so that's going to be a staple for us. Panacea we're probably going to keep unless we find something that's better for Dispel. I guess Protection from Evil would be a good choice here. We just have to transmute it, really. Yeah, so we'd keep that. So 1, 2... but it doesn't Dispel, that's the thing. So I'd need a Dispel card. I could get the Circle of Dispel then, at that point. So 1, 2... I guess... Yeah, so 1, 2, 3. Prayer of Protection is just naturally good. It's a good protect for everybody. I guess alternatively I could dip that out for Protect from Evil, which is a good long-term card. Shield of Warding, only one target. Sanctuary, yeah, we can give up on it. Okay, but yeah. Protect from Evil, Prayer... We should be able to make it. That's 3 cards. We need... I'll see about it. I'll see about it. Let's see. Holy Aegis. Grant X, which is draw pile times 4, so... I guess 20 times 4, that's... 80? 84 total? And that is granted to 1 person, mind you. Yeah, no, the problem is it's a 1-person card. If it weren't that, then it'd be fine. We'll leave it. We'll leave it. We will need to get Prismatic Field as just 1 defense card. It might not seem important now, but it's actually very vital. The Ballad of Invasion. We are going to want that, even though it's a burn card. Discover 3 melee cards and make them cost 0 with Vanish. This is actually a really good spell. Even though it may not seem it, I'm just going to grab it for the sake of it. Alright, we find 300 gold, and off we go. Okay, Ring of Fire. 1 fire damage, 1 burn. We could get the Imp statue, which would shuffle 2 flares into our deck. Mind you, with 0 card and Vanish. But that's only on the first turn. So it would apply... It'd apply a significant amount of burn, but not something we want to keep. We'll get the Ring of Fire instead. Alright. Hellblade. Alright, damage with hits plus 1 mark. That is pretty good. 1 time a turn when you play melee attack, draw 1. No, we're going to want Hellblade. Alright, Dream Spear. I think the Dream Spear is best used on Otis. He'll get 1 damage. Of course, he'll lose out on the regeneration, which does suck. But reducing the cost of your highest cost card by 2 every 2 turns is pretty dope. As for this flail, it's the best on him, so we'll grab that. There we go. Now for the epic. Okay. Now, here is a very special situation. For this, we're going to have Heiner sit on the throne, but there's a reason for that. You arrive at some ancient ruins, and, after investigating for a while, you find a room with 3 glyphs on the floor, a throne at the end of the room, and a mural above the throne. According to the images on the mural, you believe that this ritual here was one in which 1 person sat on the throne while 3 others were placed on top of each glyph. Then the throne was activated and made the person on the throne ascend and gave him some kind of power. I will have Heiner sit on the throne. You perform the ritual as indicated on the mural, and the throne is activated. At that moment, you all feel refreshed as one of the one on the throne has a feeling of being able to perform his combat skills more times than usual. As you sat on the throne, a secret compartment opened on one side of the room. Looking inside, you find a pile of gold, magic shards, and a large emerald. This gives me my heat laser 2 times a day, or 2 times per combat. So that means we can taunt 2 times. And for those not aware, taunt basically means, well, you can only target me, which is good. Alright. We have to, Alright, even the smallest decisions forge your destiny. Pay attention after these cards have been shuffled, you will have to choose one. Okay. So basically, I either succeed or I burn. This one. Oh man, I got good eye coordination. Man, I had to pay attention for that. Okay, all monsters gain 3 speed, all heroes suffer 3 slow. But I can remove a card because of it, though. Well, I've been meaning to clear up my deck, and this is an easy challenge, so I can make it happen. Let's do it. We are going to be slow for this, but that's fine. We are just going to suffer a significant amount of damage initially as we go through this. Pain. Pain. Immense pain. Alright, let's start it off. Toxic Rain. We're going to want to target these guys up front to start with. So go with that. Viper Strike. Do we want Blur? Yes, we'll go Blur. And we'll end it there. Alright. We are going to get a Protect from Evil going. Prayer of Protection. We'll infuse Courage. Alright, Shield of Warding on Otis himself. There we go. We will get an Entrench going. And we'll get a Heat Laser going for defense purposes. And we will get some more defense on Heiner for the sake of this. Alright. Now we've got a ton of AC going. We might want to activate Prismatic Field, but that is not an issue ultimately. Alright, we can use either Scorching Ray or something else. We'll use Prismatic Field, and we'll use Flare on the Golem. And Scorching Touch there. There we go. Alright, the Golem's basically near dead. We just need to leave him to his fate with the fire. Alright. From here, we can just kill him outright, which kind of is hoping for the plan. But we might not be able to do that, so we'll just have to chop through. There we go. That's one out of the way. Now we aim for the rest. Alright. Ember Storms are basically free. We will get a Fireball on... Well, first we get... Yeah, we get the Fireball first. Then we use Ignite. And then we'll use Fireproof. Solid. From here, we use, I guess, Guard for AC. We will use Intimidate twice as such. We will use Buff. We will use Howl. And follow up with a Heat Laser for the taunt. Otis will follow up with Sanctuary, a Anthem of Hope. We'll Dispel Fire using Healing Rain. And we will use a healing... or shield? No, we'll heal Heiner. And there we go. Nice. From here, let's see. I don't think the Chant of Initiative is going to help here. And it's not like we can use the Stealth here. Although I guess we could use the Chant of Initiative here. Just to get the Ballad running. We'll use the Killer Instinct for a sneak peek at this boy. For a Viper Strike for critical damage. Stanza's brought to 2. Alright. Let us get the Steel Forge going. Get the barricade. Alright. We will throw down a buffer. And give ourselves more armor. There we go. Alright. We're going to want more damage on him, so we'll just focus on buffing him. We'll get fire damage as we go. Spell any water, if there is any. Alright. Healing Rain, might as well throw it on because we're not going to be dealing with any magma damage, so we'll leave it at that. Alright, time for Tholos. Alright, we have the Ballad of Evasion. Use that. We'll start using poison. Alright, we'll get the ambush set. Alright, we'll start by using this. Get that off. Subterfuge. And there we go. And with that, combat's done. So we're probably going to get rid of... Well, no, Protect from Evil is basically a... It's basically a good card to have. Yeah, no, we could actually get another one, and we just keep it burn. Yeah, if we keep it as a burn card, then we should be good. That way we can get rid of Prayer of Protection, and then we can just get Sanctuary as normal instead. So, yeah, we'll have our buffers sorted. So, we do need to dispel, though. Do we want another one of those, though? In the long run, yes, we'll need it. Alright, Vigilance is a burn. It is draw 1, apply 3 to all monsters, though. This is pretty good. I'll take this, actually. Let's grab that. Do we want anything? No, not there. Okay. I can now remove 1 card from my deck that I don't want. Infuse Courage, that's going. Okay, what else? Normal Ember Storm. As much as I love you, my friend, I think you need to go as well. Alright. Let's get rid of one of these dual strikes. They've helped, but they're not needed anymore. Guards, as much as I like you, there's too many of you, so you're going. And that leaves our deck clear. And now we go to the Lava Lake. Now we cast a spell to weaken the Elemental Lord, I think. But before that, you reach the summit of the volcano, and the obelisk of Velkrath is a few meters in front of you, across a rocky path in the lava. When you take a few steps on the path, a giant lava elemental appears. It is an Elemental Lord. Ignidoth, the Elemental Lord, seems to be guarding the path to the obelisk, and does not attack you immediately. When you retreat, he plunges back into the lava. I will cast a spell to weaken him. And... fire. Cornelius concentrates, and after a while casts a powerful spell. Ignos suddenly reappears from the lava, but it seems that the spell worked, and he is vulnerable. While Cornelius was casting spell, the group had time to heal. Solid. So we got heal off, and we made him vulnerable for however long. For now, Vigilance. Right, Toxic Rain. We'll do a Sharpening Knife, Viper Strike to clear out the Spire, because that is going to be an issue. We will use a... Do I want to use Blur or Subterfuge? Well, yeah, let's use Blur first. We can always use Subterfuge later. Ah, Pain. Okay, he summoned in more spikes. That's a little concerning, but that's fine. We'll just get rid of them. There we go. We'll get Fireproof and Flare. There we go. Okay, from here, Healing Rain is not on the table, but we can use Sanctuary, and we will heal Heiner. There we go. Alright, let us use Howl, make him a bit more weak. Use Intimidate, keep that weakness on. We'll use Barricade, and we will start using, I guess, Guard on everybody? Because why not? Okay. From here, we shall use... let's use 2 Viper Strikes before following with Killer Instinct and Dual Strike. There we go. More damage. Alright, so he's using Ash Storm, using Lava Eruptions, and all that damage. He got rid of his burn, unfortunately. Oh, does he use burn to heal? That would suck if it did. Hold on. Oh my god, that's a lot of Ash. Well, thankfully we got defense up the wazoo, so we'll be fine. Alright. Barricade, Shield Breaker, Heat Laser. There we go. I mean, hopefully it's not the case and he's healing from that, but you never know. Alright, Ignite. Alright, Transmission. We'll just get more poison. That'll be the counter. When in doubt, use more poison. Alright, let's use Detox here. Barrier. Healing Rain will remove the burn. Alright, we will use Shield of Warding. Atonement. Alright, there we go. More poison. Here we go. Alright. Chant of Initiative could be useful. Alright, Poison Darts. Alright, Ambidextrous. We'll copy Dual Strike. Alright. Blur. Double Strike again. There we go. Nice. 69 poison. Alright. Oh yeah, no, he heals a lot from that. Jeez. Okay, yeah, no, the burn makes him heal. That's not good. Oh well. It's not like he can do much to change this, so we'll just live with our situation. Alright, Intercepts. Heat Laser, Bluff. And we pulled the Entrenchant Arsenal Grace. Alright, well... give more to our Rogue Thullus. We'll give Prismatic Shield. Alright, we'll get a Fireball going to get our deck cleaner. Or more clean, I should say. Alright, we've got Protection from Evil. Hero card. We'll give that to Heiner. We'll give him a quick heal. Shield of Warding as well. Anthem of Hope. There we go. High Defense. Alright, we are going to want a Poison Dart, Viper Strike, Ash, and Subterfuge, and we'll get a Chant of Initiative on Cornelius. Okay, he's still prepping. Let us give more draw to Thullus. And we'll apply 7 more burn. There we go. Yeah, I really need a... I really need a burn that'll stack and stack and stack. I do believe there is something that I can get to help this. It's just not available. Well, I don't have it on me just yet. Okay, Barricade, Ash, Bluff, and yeah, I don't have it yet. Great. Okay, we'll get more AC. Alright, Unwavering Faith, Protect from Evil Communal. We're probably going to want Healing Rain, oddly enough. And we will use Sunbeam on one of these dudes. There we go. We'll use Toxic Rain. We'll use the Ballad of Evasion. Ash. We're going to want Poison Dart on this boy. Viper Strike. Dual Strike to clear out the spine. Okay. Okay, now he's using self-heal, so X equals target's burn times 2 to spell fire. So we can't use it to target him, basically. Alright, we'll use Prismatic Field, Searing Touch, and Ash. There we go. So he's not burning. Most he's healing is 10, so that's good. Alright. Oh no, he clears out all burn. Oh, I see. Interesting. Alright, Barricade, Ash, Ash, and Block for Otis. Or Otis, rather. From here, Prayer of Protection, Shield of Warding. We don't need Prayer of Healing, but we can use Panacea here to recover from burn and bleed. Which is the main reason I have it in the first place, of course. Ah! It seems your blood is, scorching thin. Scorching Ray should do it. Nope. But I can use Prismatic Field just to make sure the protections on insulation are good. Alright. We will use Shield Charge to get rid of that guy. Alright. And we will use... Alright, let's see. We're running low on block though, so we'll give that to our Huffer boy. Alright, Protection from Evil, Anthem of Hope, Sunbeam. Alright, final bit. Let's do it. And Dual Strike. Done. And with that, that is the boss dealt with. Okay. I think we're definitely going to want Provoke, because it is a burn card, and it does give us the taunt. And we can use it to upgrade. Or we can downgrade its cost by 1, which is probably a bit better. because that will make it a 0 cost card. So grab that. Let's see. Wicked Craftsman may seem good, but it makes you keep the weapon that you discover. So it's not that good. You want things that are going to draw into your deck, not so much discover, unless it's a burn card. And these don't state that they can be burned. Yeah. So it's not that great of an ability. So ignore that. Worry about something else. Alright, Protect from Evil is still there. We got another one. But we only need 2, I think. Panacea we'll leave alone. Save it for later. An interesting item. Ability, rather. Not my cut of the jib. We ignore that. We got a bunch of gold, we got a bunch of shards, got some energy, got some rations. Now, we organize. Okay, we got heat assimilation, which is nice if we use it. Overheat, suffer 1, but dispel water and ice, gain 3. Volcanic Axe, 3 damage, transfer damage to fire, apply 2. This is actually really good if we want to do fire damage. Oddly enough, the poison will still apply if we grab this, so it's actually pretty decent with our build, and it would just ultimately end up stacking. So I think I'm actually going to get this weapon instead of the Hellblade, personally. So we'll grab that. Alright, for this, when you play a fire spell, draw 1. Not as good as what I've got the Lava Orb for. Alright. Ignido's Core, though. Max HP 10, fire resistance 10. We're going to grab that. All resistance is 5. Every turn cast Overheat, though. I'm going to ignore it. Let's see. It's all left up to Heiner and Otis. Well, I could either get a 4 resistance, I could get some HP and speed. I think it's better if I just stick with what I got here. Yeah, no, the armor doesn't look all that appealing. The most I'm getting is powerful, which only sticks around for as long as combat starts. And I'm fine with the charges to armor and fortify with the stone amulet, so I'm gonna have Heiner take gold, and I'll have Otis actually take the resistance. I don't use Sanctify as much. Well, I don't use it at all, but it's still good to have. Alright, so I have a few choices here. I can either go to the green portal or go to the blue portal. I'm gonna go to the blue portal. Alright. The group crossed through their second obelisk, and, as before, found a more recent trail of the princess and Lord Handshake. They remembered that the Queen of Cynthia, known for her great magical powers, also disappeared a few years ago. Could the princess have inherited those powers? And is Lord Handshake taking advantage of this? They had too many questions to turn back now. They must reach Lord Handshake at all costs. In this area, they were not surprised to see that there was also an active obelisk on the horizon. This time, the group had the feeling that if they hurried, they might be able to catch up. Alright. We are now in the Act 3 stage. Before we move on, we are going to grab the cost of upgrading cards is reduced by 50%. So this is gonna be really nice for when we want to upgrade mainly. But before we do anything, Let's get rid of Death's Door. That's an annoying card to have. And I think it's time we start upgrading these cards or removing them. Alright, Anthem of Hope. We want this to be a card draw, so this will be 6 cards, basically, anytime we play this. Alright, Panacea. It's a nice Dispel card, but it's fine all the same. Alright, we want to upgrade this to be a... not a burn, but something we keep. I think. Do we use it often enough? Well, it's reduced by 1. Yeah, no, technically it's reduced by 1 cost. And we do get enough mana, technically. If we're patient, that is. We're definitely going to want Prayer of Healing at tier or 3 mana, but has regeneration. Prayer of Protection we'll keep at 2 mana, and it'll just be a 1-cost card. Shield of Warding, we're probably going to ditch, though. So we'll get the Church to remove the Shields of Warding. Do we want Panacea to stay? Considering we have Protection from Evil, it's basically... Panacea does have Dispel, and it does heal. Well, at the very least, I don't need Sunbeam, so I'm getting rid of that. Alright, for Healing Rain, we want that to be the same as the other two, so Dispel Fire, but regen. I'll debate about it, but for now, let's see. We can either get Prismatic Field to burn, or we keep it with gaining Powerful. We'll get that. And that should be the Scrolls of... Alright, the only things left are Scrolls of Intellect, but I'm not worried about those. Rather, I should probably focus on Thyllis now. Let's see. Alright, we're going to get rid of Sneak Peek. Keeps Toxic... Do we need Toxic Rain? It's all monsters, and it's 3 poison. Well, technically more. Wait, hold on. What is the ability specifically? When dealing damage with a hit, apply 3 poison. Okay. So anytime we hit, we're dealing 3 poison. Not so much when we're using the poison water. Alright, so Toxic Rain might not be as good as we want it to be. So that's off the table. Dual Strike. Do we want to keep that? Not really. It's just more cards in a deck that we don't need. Ambush. It's 30 block that ignores, or it's 30 damage that ignores block. Battle Evasion we're keeping. Let's see. Do we want 2 blurs? No. We'll get 1 blur. And Viper Strike we'll get rid of 1. And that should give us some room to work with. So we got 6, 7. Okay, so we got 7 cards that currently are in use. We can change that though, if I'm not mistaken. We got a blur. We could get some deflects if we wish to get a draw 1, gain 4. We shouldn't need that. Let's see. A Vanish would be pretty good, actually. It would give us a reason to dispel poison, blood, and fire damage. We'll avoid that for now, because I do believe there's a better choice for us. Let's see. Yes, we're going to want Shadow Step. Shadow Step is a staple for any rogue, because it'll give you stealth, it'll give you agility, and it'll give you energy. It's a great initiative item to basically rock. Alright, transform blood into poison. No, we're good on that. But we do want an ability to double our poison, though. And I do believe that exists in the rogue category. Here we go. Poison Catalyst. The most expensive card, but worthwhile. And we have the option to triple it, no less, if we wish. Or we can get it to double cast, or we can get it to constantly cast. I think for the best course of action, we want to keep this as a cast and just keep going with it. So we're going to get that first, immediately. And I think what we're going to want is we're going to want Viper Strike to target monsters alone. And there we go. That's the gist of the materials that we can use. Ambush, we probably can ditch, I think. As much as I like it, it's just in the way. It's a good damage card, don't get me wrong, but considering we're focusing poison, it's not so good. Alright. We're going to want to upgrade poison darts to just deal more damage, but yeah. Our deck is almost complete, we just got a few things to work out and kink out. But I digress. Let's see. Alright. We've got all damage plus 2. We can get a Frost Guard, which is immune to cold. You will suffer a -1 to speed, though. Then again, we suffer much worse, I guess. Every turn gain 1 sharp. It's okay. All resistance is +4, but you get +1 to courage charges. That's not bad, actually, considering you use courage charges. Let's grab it, why not? Extra discount is also good. Combat start, apply 3 poison to all monsters. I think that's time to get rid of it. We'll get the roll coin instead. And let's see, Jade Ring, 3 resistance, 1 speed. No. Pets though, let's see. No, we're good. Okay, I think we're good. And yep, now we're good to go. We're gonna go to the Grove, I think, and try and see if we can't unlock a new character. If we can't, that's fine. We'll just work with the punches. On one side of the forest, you see a wounded man reclining on a tree. When you approach, he tells you, "Help me. Now that they're distracted by the cold, I went to the Elven Forest and got some precious gems as well as various magic items. But when I was going to leave, I was attacked by those wild beasts, and they almost killed me. I had to abandon everything. I got at the scene of this attack. If you heal me, I'll tell you where he is." Alright. I guess Otis is gonna try and heal. Why not? Let's see. Fail. Low self-esteem. A shameful reminder that something didn't go as planned. Your healing spell fails, but you decide it's not worth spending any more time with this petty thief. You leave a bit downcast. A shame. But that's par for the course. Alright, Putrefaction. Do I want to access a exotic equipment shop or get a free card upgrade? Heal received 50% and 3 dark damage. This damage can be blocked and is not affected by other modifiers. Okay. You know what? Let's do it. each hero will get a free upgrade card as well, so why not? It's better to give it a try and see what happens right after all. Although if this keeps going, we're gonna have to really block. Okay. Chant of Initiative on Heiner. Yeah, no, that didn't help anything. Alright. I don't have any melee weapons in hand, so Subterfuge. Let's start using Poison on the front one, and Shadow Step. Ah! Otis is suffering significantly. Kind of feel bad, but it's not much you can do. But I can buff up Otis to give him some HP. And I can start throwing fireballs. And flares. And ignite this owl. And he's dead. Ow! Stop hurting my boy! Alright, Steel Forge. Heat Laser. Alright, now Intercept with these guys. There we go. Pain. Okay. Unwavering Faith. Protect from Evil. Healing Rain. Anthem. And Purge. There we go. That'll help at least somewhat, I think. Alright, that's a lot of defense, though. Hey, how's it going? Ah, yes, that is right. I completely forgot. I apologize. Alright. Let me just wrap up here, and I will wrap up the stream. I apologize for that, Gravestone. But yeah, I'll quickly finish up. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. Well, this will be a first-parter for this stream then. So give me a sec while I clear up these guys. Don't want to leave it on a spoiler. Alright, we'll start with... I guess we'll go aggressive. Viper Strike. Poison Strike. Alright. Ballad Evasion. Blur. There we go. Let him die of poison. There we go. He dies of blood loss. Now it's time to cook the others alive. Ember Storm. Ember Storm. Heat Assimilation. Heat Wave. Scorching Ray. Alright, Prismatic Field. And more mana for Thulis. There we go. He is now at his death's door. Alright. We will get some healing done. Let's see. Healing Rain. Detoxify. Heal. Panacea. Heal. Heal. Alright. Entrench. Heat Laser. Intimidate. Alright. I guess... No, we'll use Steel Skin. There we go. Yeah, I definitely will. No worries. Alright, we're gonna go with Killer Intent, Sharpening Knife, and done. Easy enough. Alright, let me just see. Do we want any of the cards? No, it doesn't look like anything suits my fancy. The only thing that sticks out is the Circle of Healing, but that is only because it has a regeneration effect, which is pretty good for us. I guess I'll grab it, why not? Alright. And that just leaves the upgrade. Okay. We can get the Circle of Healing upgrade, which reduces the cost, but gives us... makes it a burn, which I think is better than anything else. Sanctuary, we'll keep that as is. Panacea, we can make a burn if we wish. No, we're going to want the Circle of Healing burn. Alright. From here, we get the Scroll of Intellect to draw one as well. Alright, Tholos. The Ballad of Invasion probably would be the best choice here. Alternatively, Shadow Step is also a good option. But no. Ballad of Evasion, just to get the 3 buffer and the card draw. Good. Arsenal, we can reduce that cost, or we can increase its cost and deal more damage with Shield Charge. Alternatively, yeah, no. I think Shield Charge is best. There we go. That should be everybody. Yep, there we go. Alright. That's it for today. As much as I'd like to continue more, I've got stuff to be, I've got places thing. I got a lot to do. But I digress. For those of you in YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell notification if you want to see more of my stuff. I stream daily, so if you want to catch my streams, you can catch me 3 to 7 MST time. If you want to catch my streams, you can catch me in the link down below in the description, because that is where it links to my Twitch. For those of you at Twitch, or for those of you from YouTube going to Twitch, follows are always appreciated. No follows I have, the more content I can give you guys. If you want to see my old content, you can go to my YouTube in the link down below. You can find it right there, and the Twitch, it's right there. You can see it, grab it, yeah. For those of you who just want to support me, the best way you can do that is just follows. The more follows I have, the more content I give you guys, like I said. And once I hit that 50 mark on the bottom left most side of the screen, which is 50, then I will be able to give you guys more content, and there's a chance I could become an affiliate, which will get me money. But I digress. I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. I know I did. And I'll see you guys next stream. Take care, everyone, and have a good day.